like that? You like that? I like that.
That is very offensive.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of TACT Lab, where four people sit down to talk about pretty much anything. Today we're actually talking about natural disasters. You can hear behind something's happening.
Listen to this podcast.
A little chaotic. So, there you hear Alex. Alex, how are you today?
Pretty good. I think we should outlaw laughing because it's not all inclusive.
What?
Yeah, not everybody finds everything funny.
That's true.
All right.
So Alex is offended by laughing. How are you, Thomas?
I'm offended by that statement.
Chris, what are you offended by?
I'm offended that Thomas is offended at him because
Yeah, anyone that laughs in the streets is publicly executed.
I'm not. I can't biologically laugh. I have no fun.
All right, data.
I have
Zuckerberg.
eyebrows. I am a caramel man.
Caramel, man.
You're not caramel at all.
Far from it. Vanilla bean. What you doing?
Yes, you're a vanilla bean man.
Well, vanilla bean's brown.
Yeah, well, it's a slight off-white. Yes. You're an eggshell white.
I don't know, man. If you look
Yeah.
at my neck, I probably have some pre-cancerous signs of skin cancer.
But you got some melanoma going on?
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying?
I like to reverse Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a spotted penis.
Oh,
So that's okay.
That's the Michael Jackson. No, you guys know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
Do I have to reference this?
they couldn't quite get his penis white.
But that 10-year-old kid knew exactly what it looked like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ew.
A 10-year-old kid was able to accurately describe Michael Jackson's spotted penis.
Could you imagine?
Was it like a cow?
Could you imagine like an
Had spots of
all-white
white.
man with a black dick?
Like it did in chocolate.
Like a pink head,
Chocolate fountain
black
dick?
shaft into a white body.
He went to Golden Corral and just stuck his dick in the fountain.
I just wonder if he has like normal pubes, like as a white. And it's not
Is-
normal. If he has
if it-
white man pubes,
Yeah,
or if he has black
it's
man
short,
pubes.
short and like a shrubbery, or if it's long like a fern.
Yes. If he went the full distance for the transfer,
Probably smooth like a 10-year-old boy.
it probably is smooth. He got the laser hair removal.
Reminds me of when my voice didn't drop.
So how are you, Thomas?
I'm great.
Okay.
I'm feeling fine.
Okay, Chris, how are you?
Doing good.
Nice. All right.
How are you?
I'm great. Got nothing to complain about. So
Sure you do.
I do. It's normally Karen's. So, but today we're gonna get into some natural disasters. I'm excited about it. Everybody else is too. We're not going to laugh though, because we don't want to offend Alex.
No more laughing. This is the no laughter zone.
No laughter.
No laughing.
So,
I appreciate that.
This is an NLZ.
Even though we just laughed like 30 seconds ago.
I didn't laugh. So
No
We're gonna-
laughing zone.
Yeah, you made up the acronym, not me.
Okay.
yeah, we got the NLZ. So Thomas, why don't you bring us in with your shoulda, woulda, coulda sci-fi?
It's not sci-fi. There's no spaceships involved or aliens.
Well, sci-fi is
Science fiction.
Science fiction.
It's alternate history.
Zombies is science fiction.
Is it fiction?
Is it alternate history or is it history that could still happen?
This could actually still happen.
There we go.
See?
I mean,
just on a larger scale.
okay.
Technically, aliens exist.
No, I'm ready to back you up on this.
Sci-fi.
Okay, because when we were talking about it before, you're like, yeah, you're a natural disaster.
I've
Air
had-
I like
quotes.
to call it an artificial disaster.
I've had time to mull it over, and North Carolina faces this threat constantly.
Yes, because we're on the East Coast, so we could be potentially nuked by anyone.
Charlotte's getting nuked. We'll
There's
probably survive.
2 nuclear bombs in our swamps.
What kind of radius does a modern day nuclear device?
Oh, a
hit
modern
reach?
day one?
Yeah. What kind of radius can they hit?
Well, depending on that would be anywhere from the 1 to like 20-mile radius, and then it just depends on which way the winds are blowing as far as the radiation fallout.
I bet if they hit Charlotte, we probably got a pretty good chance of.
I'll probably grow a brother out my neck.
Yeah, if the radiation, if the mushroom cloud blew this way, we would be in the middle of the road danger zone where we would probably die.
I like that term, middle of the road danger zone. It's like
The blast won't get you,
you're middle of the road. You know?
but we're not going to get the blast, right?
We're not going to get the blast. We'll see the light. We'll feel some of the repercussions. Our windows might blow out, and we would definitely get radiated.
This one where we just fall down our lawns.
Yeah.
And we just like,
Don't
oh,
look
God,
at the
yeah.
light, though, right?
If you look at the light, you'll be blind for a few hours.
That plus your skin
Yes.
cancer would probably catch you.
The
though.
cancer would get you after you would get radiated within the next 5 hours, and then probably die within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, I felt like you could run away from it from here.
The radiation, no.
Yeah, because they had the hand grenades and Starship Troopers you can run from. The hand grenade.
The holy hand grenade.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's not how it works, right?
I thought you can beat nuclear fallout.
Yeah, you can outrun
Okay,
it.
if you have a shelter that's underground, yes, because the radiation only lasts up to a week. But then when you come out, all of the trees and plants and everything will be toasted.
Well, what are the little tiny particles that fly through everything? Nothing stops them.
That's the radiation. I don't know the
Just make sure you have a classic car and you can get out of there.
Well, like Chernobyl.
right. That was a nuclear meltdown.
These things went everywhere. They're invisible. They pass through you. They pass through concrete. They pass through everything. They rips
It's
through you.
the ions or something.
You're talking about atoms?
Yeah.
Would it go through a porcelain refrigerator?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. It wasn't a movie I saw one time.
Like
Someone
the
held
Iron
it.
Man guy where he hopped in a fridge and
Kind of like the vodka, the crystal skull.
wait.
What if
I don't think it was.
Oh man,
Iron Man.
Indiana
it
Jones.
was like a car brand, Ford.
Indiana Jones?
yeah.
She found. Oh, he got the crystal dome. That's what he got.
I'm sure that's what was happening.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to laugh at that.
Oh, Indiana Jones.
Don't
That's
laugh.
what y'all were talking. That's
With
exactly
Shia
who-
LaBeouf.
Yeah.
The bell.
I thought,
Shia LaBeouf.
I thought we were talking about Princess Diana.
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, that's
Oh
just.
no, she got hit into a concrete wall.
She had a
in
hit on the
tunnel.
radio.
Yeah, I'm
She was
not.
a one-hit
She was
wonder.
a one-hit wonder
Well,
on
then
the
we were
radio.
talking about Dome, so I figured, okay.
Thomas.
So, anyways,
Yes.
I'm referencing back in the 1980s, this era.
Oh.
Okay, what if the Cold War actually happened?
It did happen.
Well, fuck. What? Okay, what if the Cold War had actually escalated into a nuclear holocaust?
Yeah, it's interesting. It wouldn't be a Cold War anymore.
The hot war.
Well, technically, the Earth would still get colder.
Nuclear winners, man. Cold
yeah,
War.
it'd be hot for
I
a
don't
second.
think that's why it was called Cold War, though.
No, it wasn't.
I'm pretty sure.
It was
I'm
a Cold
kidding.
War because not much happened. Yeah.
boring.
Some say we're still in a Cold War.
We're in a forever war, right?
We're in an IED war now.
Yes.
The IED.
So the Cold War, it lasted from 1945 to 1990, and it was obviously between the United States and Russia.
That's a long time.
You think about
Yes.
it, like our parents had us during,
During
the Cold,
that.
Yeah,
Why did we call? Why'd they call it off?
because
We finally
Soviet
had a
Russia-
truce.
Oh, Reagan.
Yeah, but we're still kind of like at a weird
the
point.
USSR
Yeah.
dissolved.
Armistice.
We're less at odds with them now. We try to economically trade with them.
They push buttons though, man.
Their country doesn't exist anymore.
The
It
Russians?
They have a vaccine.
The Soviet Union.
They quit putting bounties out on U.S. soldiers. You see, they stopped doing that.
Oh, that's what they said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So during the Cold War, that lasted between 1945 and 1990, I'm going to be talking about specifically around the 1980 area because during this time, this determines how big the nuclear weapons are. Because if you go 1945, they're smaller. If you go to 1990, then they're into the megaton range. So 1980 is anywhere from the 1 kiloton to about 10 kiloton.
How many kilotons was Hiroshima?
Hiroshima was like,
Not even one, was it?
yeah, it was like half of one, I think.
Okay.
I gotta say Hiroshima.
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 I don't know. Nagasaki.
We were the heroes there.
So during the Reagan administration is when this is taking place.
Yes.
This actually happened. Russia received 2 false signals from their satellite saying that America launched 4 nuclear warheads towards the USSR, Soviet Union, whatever you want to call it, the Reds.
Gotta love technology.
So during these 2 false signals that Russia had, a soldier named Stanislav Petrov was the only guy to say, no, we're not going to fire back. Let's see what happens. And it turned out to be a glitch in their technology.
Stannis saved us.
Stannis saved us.
Awesome.
Thank God for him.
But if we take him out of the picture, Russia hits the button.
Erase him.
Erase him from history.
Okay.
And then Russia panics. They hit the button, and they launch hundreds of nukes all over the northern hemisphere.
Mm-hmm.
Ego hit the button.
Yes. So, okay, this is pretty much the breakdown of what would happen. If Russia hits the button, they launch hundreds of nukes.
Mm-hmm.
These hundreds of nukes go all over the northern hemisphere, which will land in Europe. It'll land in Japan, China, and all over America on the western and eastern seaboard.
They're shooting everybody.
They launch 500 to 1,000 nukes because I think at this time they had like 12,000 stockpiled.
It's like a fountain of nukes.
It's a
Yes.
bukkake of nukes.
Geyser.
They just hit the fucking button and go. So they hit the button. So their nukes go. They don't make it to America till about an hour. So our systems go off, and we're like, "Fuck, what's going on?" So we launch all of our nukes too.
Because we've had it happen, right, where there was a glitch in our system
Yes,
too.
we've had that same glitch, but we never did it.
What about Star Wars?
Mm-hmm.
Reagan
Yeah.
has Star Wars.
He had Star Wars, but there was no New Hope for that one.
Oh, okay. And then so he struck back.
It was pretty much just like, fuck it. So, because whenever you see 500 nukes flying through the air, you're like, well, we're not going to shoot all those down, because wasn't Star Wars on like a 40% success rate?
I don't think it even worked.
So, America launches all their nukes, and so there's probably anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 nukes flying through the air.
The Russians had us on nuke count, right?
America had the most out of everyone.
Okay.
Russia was second, and then the European Union and everything was, it declines very rapidly. So the first places to get hit would be France, Germany, Britain, everywhere along the European area. And they get hit first, and they launch all their nukes.
Better get your bagels and your baguettes fast.
Now,
Yes.
do they shoot us too?
They just shoot it everywhere because they panic fire.
It's like, fuck.
The European Union shoots at us too. They're like,
they just
oh, well.
they just shoot everywhere.
Does anyone shoot at Africa?
No.
Okay.
I will go ahead and preface this by saying the southern hemisphere is largely unaffected by nuclear blasts because there's no major military structures.
Except for Australia.
Yeah.
It's not considered a threat.
All those freaking
About India?
cannibals and inmates can live on.
Where?
What about India?
India,
India had a lot of nukes.
they're considered northern hemisphere.
At the time, they probably wasn't a threat to the world.
Probably not then. Yeah.
Then no. Then I think they only had like one or two.
Now it's like a problem.
Because Germany
Yeah.
was just ripping through like India and Africa during those World War II times, like without any, yeah.
Yeah. So Europe gets hit. France, Germany, Britain, all their major cities and military structures, boom, gone. But they managed to launch all their nukes. Europe's gone. They fire theirs. It starts landing in Russia. So everywhere except for mainly Siberia doesn't get hit or gets hit except for Siberia. They get fucked. They're gone. And then all of Russia's nukes come and land all over America, hitting all the major cities, population centers, and military structures. So the only thing that would probably be okay would be some of the Midwest.
Kansas City.
Denver Airport.
West Virginia.
I think Denver Airport will get hit. It would be places like in
Oh,
Nebraska or something.
Okay.
They,
Appalachian Mountains.
but they would be affected by this, but they would not have a nuclear blast.
All right. So at this point, nuclear winter is trickling down.
Not yet.
Oh.
Not yet.
You got to get up to those high
Like that
altitudes.
trickle down down there.
You got to get to
Okay.
those high altitudes.
I'll give you
to
credit for that one.
survive.
Thank you.
Trickling down. Okay, so whenever a nuclear bomb hits, depending on the kiloton ratio of it, say it's a 1 kiloton bomb, that would be 1,000 sticks of dynamite as far as power. So a 1 kiloton bomb can have a blast radius of half a mile.
Like a million M80s.
Yeah.
These are weird comparisons.
I think so.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can probably get a million M80s and blow up a small town. You can decimate Landis for sure.
You could probably blow up Lebanon with a million M80s in a warehouse.
I think that happened.
But it'd take less
What do you
sparklers.
mean?
Less sparkler.
You probably could like just wrap 100 sparklers up. It'll take out
That's
Lebanon.
unimaginable.
It'd take
in
like
1980.
a billion pounds of magnesium.
All he needs fertilizer.
All you need is a truckload of chlorine and alcohol.
Okay, so a nuke lands in, let's say, New York. It lands in Manhattan. Okay, if it's 1 to 10 kilotons, the blast radius is going to be anywhere from half a mile to a mile and a half. In this blast radius, it is about the intensity of the sun as far as heat goes.
For how long? A few seconds?
Couple of seconds. Boom. It's just, it hits the ground, explodes. Everything within that 1 mile radius instantly vaporized by heat. That includes trees, buildings, cars, concrete, people, animals, just in a second.
Like it never was there.
Right. So that gets fireballed. Also, whenever this happens, you can see a giant flash of light up to 5 miles away, which instantly blinds you for a couple hours. Further from that, you can see the light, but it won't blind you as bad. Then what happens is that the fireball pushes outwards and pushes debris, and a giant wind force comes that's faster than the speed of sound that goes over 700 miles per hour, throwing everything that didn't catch on fire outwards in a circle.
That's
So
terrible.
it'd be a giant radius, so everything hits that blast for up to 20 miles.
So that's where we're getting screwed when Charlotte gets hit.
Yes, we'll get the shock wave, the sound wave, flying debris. Our windows will pop out, and we'll see the blast and be like, "Oh!" And then within 10 seconds,
It's like arms and legs start.
Glass
hitting
in
us.
your eyes.
Helen
Yeah.
Keller was born in the wrong decade. If she would survived this, like, no problem.
she would have never saw it coming.
Coming, either, or hear it coming.
But if we were warned and recommended to wear a mask, how many people would wear a mask if there was a fallout?
I don't think a mask is going to help.
Can't tell me
Don't
what
think-
to do.
don't
I
think
got
a
my
mask is
3M
gonna help that.
mask for this nuclear
But
stuff.
I think a surgical mask could help in this
Well, this
instance.
isn't dandruff. This is nuclear fallout.
Just sweep off before you walk into the house every day.
No, you do that, and then your hair and your skin falls off
You're
with
just
it.
sweeping
It's
hair
like
off.
you like the fucking people from Cabin Fever. You fucking just chunks of skin. You fucking
Their
you're
teeth.
you're having sex, and it's like, hey, like, eh. It just gums.
You go to pull out, and your dick stays in.
Yeah,
You de-skin your cock.
de-skin your dick.
I think you'll be more worried about your lungs just being melted.
Yeah, it would be bad. So yeah, the blast zone goes from there, and then everything catches on fire within the 5 mile radius, and then the fire and everything goes outwards. So then maybe about 10, 20 seconds after that, because of the heat wave that happened, all the air gets sucked back in. So any buildings that had a small fire, it oxygenates them and pulls the fire inwards, which actually engulfs everything in flames.
Also, I'm good in my basement. I survived. And then a second later, all the fire comes and kills me.
Yeah, because it creates another burst that actually sucks all the debris back in. So all the trees are fried and they fly everywhere. It's just shrapnel. It's a nightmare. This comes in, and the inward flow of air is actually what creates the mushroom cloud that you typically see, which happens 10 to 20 seconds after the blast. And then this mushroom cloud raises up, and that's where all the radiation comes from, because it emits into the sky, the ozone, and then it pollutes the air, pollutes the ground, and pollutes the rain. And this mushroom cloud, depending on the wind direction, can travel anywhere from like 50 to 100 miles.
So at that point, you're boned.
Yeah, so this is one bomb.
And at that point, it's probably like daisy chain, the nuclear power plant.
Yeah, like gas lines blow up, metal melts. So one bomb does this. If they launch 1,000 bombs,
Dude, mom and pop stores are shutting down across the whole nation.
You can't tell me what to do. You can't shut down mom and pop shops, goddammit. I ain't fucking wearing a mask either.
got
I'm
our-
going eating tonight.
Brick and mortar is fucked.
Goddamn Gary Barbecue better stay open. I gotta fucking eat.
Goddamn, you got trees still?
a small business Saturday ain't stopping us.
I can't believe it. They're trying to ruin society. Telling us to shut down. That's only a fucking nuke. Shutting down the fucking world
Fuck,
now.
allow me to mow at nighttime, all that light in the sky.
How are we supposed to live? It's just a nuke. God.
Well, you won't have to worry about mowing because all the grass will be evaporated.
Yes.
I mean, it's just a fucking bat.
A fucking bat.
Soup is soup.
Okay, so after this happens, this is all within like a minute.
Right.
So then the mushroom cloud forms, you have the radiation and rain, and this is where the molecular level comes in, and the nuclear winter and nuclear fallout happens. So everybody's crawling out from the debris, the people that did survive, and then they start coughing up blood.
God, what the fuck happened? Jesus.
People picking up their fucking legs and shit.
I'll be honest, I was fucking masturbating, and then I don't even remember.
Your jizz glows in the dark now. Like your house just lights up.
Mama, where are you, Mama? Mama.
You just come out, and if you're the one dude that took like 10 extra minutes to come out, your heels have eyes.
Yes.
You're just like,
Look out, world! I'm pretty sure that's just from a rock to the head, the way you sounded.
Baby Ruth, where's my friend Chunk?
Dude, that's terrifying, just to like crawl out of the rubble after a nuclear attack.
Oh, the 8-foot guys with retard strength.
It would take a while to get to that point, but just crawling out of the rubble in general.
And then the mindset you're in, you're crawling out of this rubble, and you're like, God, I fucking survived. Ambulances and stuff
I was
can't get
just
to you because
taking
the
a
roads
nap.
are fucking blown up. And you're crawling out like, holy shit, well, I'm glad that's over. Then 2 hours later, you're spitting up blood and your tongue falls out.
Or you're raped.
And you're raped.
You wait, within 2 hours, the bands of rapists and
They're
like,
going around to every Eckers and
with-
right age stealing
with masks.
Advil.
yeah, with like the metal masks on.
They got metal masks and
Or
their
huffing
dictions
They're
are
just
wrecked.
tying people to the front of their cars.
Huffing silver paint.
Take me to fire.
They're spraying their mouths with silver spray paint.
Give us your 22 ammo or everyone dies in the house.
They're running around with this hard-on.
If Trump had more control, this would have never happened.
They like
Thomas
pump
already
up
got
the.
clubbed in the back of the head. That's
Yeah.
why I was talking like that.
They've got.
Yeah, you're getting like you're like drowning in cum for like 10 dudes.
Yeah,
You don't know what's
they've
going
got
on.
Thomas out in the driveway while the family's inside. They're fucking ass packing that Thomas. They're like, it gets worse from here. It gets way worse from
They're
here.
all just spitting blood all over me.
They're not even demanding things. They're just like,
They're all degloved.
we're
Imagine
coming in.
Like your ass is full of like foreskin.
Condoms, all natural condoms.
Halfway through it, I just turned into a puddle.
Yeah, dude from X-Men, you just
I'm just a soup. Just a soup on the
All
ground.
this goes into a drain.
I do have a question. Would you kill yourself if you were a part of this nuclear fallout type of
That's a
thing?
good question.
You would want to, because the radiation would cause you to die really fast. Also, that depends on how close you are. Because the middle of the road danger zone, you would die within the 3 days to a week from cancer, digestive organ failure, or just any other type of radiation type
I think that's
sickness.
the worst death.
I wonder how deep
A slow death.
I wonder how deep of a hole you've got to dig to kind of have a really good chance of surviving.
Well, I don't know, because a 1 kiloton blast would leave a 50-foot hole in the ground.
Yeah, but around here, all that shit would just like skate over the ground if you were even that close. Like
Yeah.
if you were underground, you're
It's almost like the aliens gave us the pyramids for a reason.
go into the pyramids. They're already
You're probably
aerodynamic
okay.
to a degree.
True.
Yeah, but I was wondering if you could dig a 15-foot hole and then jump down in that bad boy.
If you reinforced it with
Barry
3
of
feet
us?
of concrete and rebar and stuff,
Yeah, if
you'd
you
probably be okay.
get Stanley Jonas out there to do it for
What if
you.
I go into the? What if you?
I found some peaches.
Can you go to the mountains and be above the blast?
Oh, you'd be above it.
That's what I was
guess that-
wondering,
I guess you would be above the blast, but closer to the radiation.
dude. Could
But
you
what if
imagine?
you're above the clouds?
You just got Mark Zuckerberg face. He's
just-
above the clouds.
Could
Well,
you
that's-
imagine all the fucked up people on the Appalachian Trail
I don't-
after a nuclear blast?
I don't think the-
Appalachia people.
I don't think the radiation stops at the clouds. I think it goes up into the stratosphere.
No, I think it is definitely affected by the wind currents up
It's,
in the
it's
air.
affected by the
Oh.
wind, but the radiation goes all the way up because whenever you have the nuclear winter fallout, the radiation and stuff happens. People get sick. People die. And if you have 1,000 bombs go off, you're going to have radiation among the whole northern hemisphere.
Well, that's what happened with Chernobyl. Chernobyl carried it across the ocean.
Right.
They were worried that they were going to be affected here in the United States.
Right, but the radiation only lasts up to 48 to 72 hours.
Can't you just have heart fire up and just shoot a hole in the ionosphere and have the radiation just go out the hole?
I want to tell you, I'm just even doing it. That's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
You won't need HARP, though, because all the buildings on fire and the burning fireballs that happen would shoot smoke, ash, and all other debris into the sky and cause the ozone layer to disintegrate by itself.
In my mind, I'm imagining an actual laser beam being shot into the sky. I just point all this
Like every DC movie.
Just point it straight at the nuke. Just shoot the nuke.
Try it. Just try it. Give it a try. It's not going to make it worse.
Jesus.
You might blast it all.
It's like shooting bullets at a hurricane.
If it's me, I'm digging a hole. I need to start prepping.
You're digging a hole so you can die in it?
I'm gonna become a prepper. Damn it! That's basically what I'm gonna have.
Oh, you're aggressive canner.
You're
I'm
a
gonna-
DD.
I'm gonna plant a bus in the ground.
That could work. It'd be like Jeepers Creepers underground.
I think it'll work.
I don't think so. Because the nuclear winter is when like I was saying, all the smoke and ash goes into the sky and it deteriorates the ozone layer. Now, this is a global catastrophe because it not only affects all the areas that were hit by nuclear blast, but this eats away the ozone layer, which causes the Earth's temperature to decrease and UV rays to increase in intensity. So the people not everyone in America, Russia, and Europe would die from the nuclear fallout. Within a week or two, there would still be some survivors, but the conditions would be so harsh that if you tried to grow cocks,
You're gonna grow some cocks.
You're gonna be a cock farmer for sure.
if you try to grow crops, they will freeze and die, and the
dig
soil
magnet.
would be shit.
I really like these new nipple cocks.
Just guys like clamps. Come here, boy.
Or you hit the radiation zone and grow 2 more cocks.
God damn it! I got a cock on a cock.
So is it hotter outside or is it colder outside?
The UV light would give you a sunburn in like 30 seconds, but it's colder.
So is Antarctica gone?
No, it's colder. It's colder outside. What?
So you get freeze burn and sunburn.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, so like when nighttime happens, like the temperature dies.
So you melt and freeze at the same time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's so bad outside you would not be able to be in the sunlight if
Okay.
this many bombs go off.
It's like a fridge making ice, but it's not making cold air.
Right.
Okay.
So all of this happens within the first couple months. Anybody that's within the northern zones has to travel south.
Right.
Because there's nowhere you're going to regrow. There's
What?
civilization falls.
Yeah. But the equator get hotter?
Anything below the equator would be
It will make all this stuff go
Oh,
counterclockwise.
so we would
Yeah.
all be Russian Mexico.
right. So we would go to South America.
Hey, comrade.
People would rush to Africa, and if there were
Panama.
any boats available, they would go to Australia.
You know there would be warlords on the Panama Canal.
Yes.
All taking like tariffs and,
Yeah.
like tithes. To go
Survivors
through
coming through, they're like, oh,
Well, that's the
give
other
me a
thing.
daughter.
The global conditions would be so bad for
Africa
climates. No, Africa would actually get fucked.
It's like Africa. It's like fucking Coney at Panama Canal.
You will pay to pass here.
You get $2. You have $1.
Hey, you the man. You try pass here, white man.
I'm the father now. I'm the father now.
This is my canal.
This is my canal.
But you're surviving, though. You're like, at least his dick didn't break off in me like the last guy.
Fuck, I still got 2. Yeah, I ain't gonna say anything.
Well, that's the thing. People living in Africa, because they have, not to bash them, their civilization and culture is
Yeah, but Africa rules the
economically
world.
not as good.
This is Africa's world now.
And plus, they have more desert, so they're
Already used to the heat, right?
they're used to the heat, but they are not able to grow food as well. So there will be a global famine. So Africa would go into civil unrest, civil war, and pretty much Africa would eat itself,
Oh, you mean like it's doing right now?
I feel like though
but faster.
they would need a better source of vitamin D though in that scenew.
They would have too many Ds.
now. That's basically what Africa's happening.
Africa's in a bad spot right now.
Because they're being taken over by China.
Well, they're being taken over by warlords who convince small children to kill on sight and get addicted to drugs. So they go town to town and just wipe out all the males
It's like
in the
one
town
giant harem.
and take all the women.
What did I say?
Harem.
Harem.
I hear them.
I harem
I hear 'em.
screaming.
I was reading here that someone's saying that if you expect nuclear war and seek to escape it, a great choice is a concrete bunker at least 3 foot underground. Concrete bunker 5 feet underground with 20 or so years of supplies for whatever number of people you may have.
20 years in a bunker? Just kill me now.
That's what's going to have to happen.
Because the conditions outside above ground would last 20 to 30 years.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? Come out when you're 50 years old?
It's like that Brandon
Yes.
Fraser movie.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Well, there was that movie that had a tie with Cloverleaf, wasn't
Cloverfield.
where they
Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
where
John
they
Goodman captures the girl?
captures the girl and tricks her to live down there, and it
Yeah.
was fine the whole time, wasn't it?
No,
Yeah.
there was aliens attacking cities. Because she gets out and
She fights aliens at the end of it.
yeah, she fights aliens, and he's like, "No,
She thinks
go
it's
out
fake.
there."
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was
he
John Goodman.
real.
Like, you
Then
think
it-
John Goodman's making it up, but
Yeah,
he's
that's
actually
right.
like.
Then it goes into Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah,
and people are just appearing in walls and shit. I don't know what's going
yeah.
on.
Like, you think he's making it up, but he's actually crazy, but just a little bit off his rocker anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Because of the nuclear winter, though, it would just be bad. I think the only place that would still live would be Australia and Madagascar and some parts of
How does
South
Madagascar survive?
Because they're very far south.
People have boats in 1985.
I'm telling you, there's parts of West Virginia that would live on, buddy.
How about Sri Lanka?
Where's that at?
Down there somewhere.
I guess they live.
It's like south of India, right?
Would Greece survive?
No, Greece is part of Europe. It would be gone. It would be gone.
Oh, yeah, it's fucked.
So after all of this, the nuclear fallout lasts like 20, 30 years. And with about 1,200 to 1,800 nukes going off, about 80% of the global population is gone.
Instantly?
Within the course of a year.
Oh, okay.
About half of that is gone within the first couple weeks because of the nuclear fallout.
And then whoever's left
Whoever's
has
left
to
has
deal.
to rebuild with the global temperatures dropping like 10 degrees, harsh summers, harsh winters, no ozone layer until it finally rebuilds
You're also
itself.
going to have birth defects.
Birth
Lots
defects.
of birth defects.
And when you look up in the sky, all you see is a giant cloud instead of the sun and the
Just
stars.
yellow?
It's just a cloud. Yeah, it's just a giant cloud.
We got clouds now.
Yep. Well, just
We don't have yellow
It's
clouds.
a sunny day today.
yeah, but you will never see the
Super
sun for a
sunny.
while.
You get a sunny D.
Yeah. So this would mean about 3 billion people would die. Just to put it on the scale.
That's a snap of the fingers, right?
A Thanos snap.
That's basically what it is. You got a population control, baby.
Now, the ultimate scenario, though, is if all the nukes in the entire world were to blow up, that would create a global blackout and everybody would die.
Yeah, but that'd be
That's
tough
like
to do.
the doomsday scenario.
You'd have to be like an expert hacker who could have control of all those nukes at once, who could blow them up.
Like you're flying off a spaceship laughing.
Like Elon Musk is gonna do.
You just fucking middle fingers and just fucking nukes just blow up.
We did nuclear fallout, nuclear blasts.
Yeah.
So we got tsunamis up next.
Yeah.
So
A real disaster.
the thing about well, it naturally happens. I would say nuclear fallout is a definite disaster.
It's a potential disaster.
It's a bad disaster. So tsunamis are definitely created by earthquakes, right? So
Yeah.
they happen because in the middle of the ocean, right? So there's this one that happened.
Sometimes they happen on land.
They do, but they don't really cause a tsunami. The ones that happen on land, right? The ones that happen out in the middle of the ocean is what. So I was reading. So let's say there's two fault lines, and this fault line slips down literally 80, 100 feet in the ocean.
80, 100 feet?
80 to 100 feet. That amount of movement, that amount of movement causes all that water to shift down
Right.
in the blink of an eye. And then it actually goes up and down. These fault lines just fucking go up and down.
It's like a giant cannonball.
It's
Like-
pretty,
Like when you do a cannonball in a pool. It's
Yeah.
like that, but under the water.
but you would need 100 people behind you jumping in doing cannonballs behind you in
is
a
this?
sequence.
Tectonic shift happens all the way to the ice wall.
To the ice wall? We're not talking about flat Earth.
I thought you said the asshole.
That's where tsunamis come from. They bounce off the ice wall and come back bigger.
I thought you said ass wall.
I think I was thinking something. I said both.
I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to laugh.
Yes, I like some chocolate ass cream.
Ass cream.
But you remember that 2005 tsunami?
The one that hit, it did hit
Indonesia?
There's one that happened in 2004.
Yeah, it was Indonesia or Japan or something.
Indonesia, yeah.
Yeah, there you
A
go.
lot of people died.
Like it happened on the land and
The sea
spread out.
Mexicans.
I
Well-
remember I made a Photoshop of Godzilla coming through whenever that happened.
I have some. That's actually the number one tsunami. Here it is. So that was a 9.1 earthquake off the coast
Whoa.
of Sumatra. Was estimated to occur at a depth of 30 kilometers or 18 miles out into the ocean. Oh, I'm sorry, 18 miles deep.
Down.
Jeez.
18 miles deep. So a fault zone that caused the tsunami was roughly 1,300 kilometers or 800 miles long.
Whoa.
800 miles long.
So it's like an 800-mile long person getting out of the bathtub.
It's like,
What was that?
It's like, who's the president?
President Hoover. he didn't even get out.
Just imagine the water rises up, and then it's 800 miles long of deeper water. What happened was the water went in all directions, a shock wave. 230,000 people died from this one.
Whoa.
So here's the vertical displacing of the seafloor by several meters along that length. So the ensuing tsunami was as tall as 50 meters or 164 feet. The wave was 164 feet tall.
Yeah, they could survive.
I see Kelly Slater take that thing on.
You know he was foaming at the mouth for that shit. God, I wish I was there when that thing came through. So, and it reached 5 kilometers inland. So, 5 kilometers is how many? That's the only one I didn't equate to miles.
That's like 2.5.
2.5 miles inland.
Roughly.
Okay,
It's
so,
like 2 to 3.
But this one is the most widely recorded, with nearly 1,000 combined tide gauges and eyewitness measurements from around the world reporting a rise in wave height, including places in the U.S., the UK, and Antarctica. It caused $10 billion worth of damage, and like I said, 230,000 people died.
Jesus.
I'm still imagining Kelly Slater just like, God damn, I wish I would have rode that wave, and like 500,000 people are dead.
He's
A
like,
250,000 people dead.
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
Well, those are scary, too, because didn't they say that whenever that was happening, people went out on the beach because they noticed it? Like,
Yeah.
You're like, hard water's gone.
Yeah.
It's
So-
an ocean, mommy.
So in December in our country it's cold, but in December in their country it's warm. So a lot of tourists go there. So there was a lot of tourists from the from the UK,
EU.
EU,
UAE.
brain fart, EU, and the United States.
United England.
Aramis, England.
We talking about the UAE?
The EU,
The Pirates
Europe.
of India.
There was a lot of people from Europe and a lot of people from America there. And they actually did go out on the beach because the fucking oceans just receded back so far. There was all this shit just exposed.
Yeah.
And so people,
Oh, look, a seashell. I'm going to go
you
the starfish
imagine?
real
Can
quick.
you imagine that happening today? All the Insta models out there. There's no ocean. They're out there going like,
They're probably the mask wearers.
the mask wearers would get killed. They're not the smart
said-
ones.
I don't know what's the people not wearing masks.
This
Wait.
wave ain't going to hurt me, brother.
Wait a minute.
They ain't gonna tell me to get off the goddamn beach. I'll get off the beach when I'm ready.
I pay for his fucking vacation.
You see that?
By goddamn it, I'm staying in the fucking water.
You see that, Karen? I scared the fucking wave. Scared the water right back off.
So American and Indonesian water left.
Let's go down there to more of the ocean.
He probably he saw it coming and tried to like dive through it.
That's like jumping off the airplane when it's crashing.
I could see someone jumping
You go
into
underneath
it.
it and you skip it,
you
right?
ain't going into a 100-foot wave.
I could see someone. They jump into it thinking, "I'll just go under it," and a shark eats them.
It's like
There's no shark.
You ain't jumping into that. That thing's moving at like 100
Dude,
miles an hour.
This
Well, how-
water's
hitting the
nasty.
road.
It's like
Well, how many fish get caught up in this too? Because it's like right? It just happens.
Well, so I don't know if there's
Like whales.
everybody comes out look like Swamp Thing. All this shit.
so they say there's a smell. They say there's a smell before a tsunami hits. It's like briny and musky, and that's about there's a smell
That's what the
before a
Matrix smells
tsunami.
like. I think Agent Smith was trying
Briny
to
and
tell.
like in the actual Matrix
Yeah.
part
Oh,
where
yeah.
there's like everything's
That's what he was
dirt.
trying to tell Morpheus. It's just a smell.
The only telltale signs of a tsunami is the ocean recedes
Right.
away. But
Right.
if you were to look out, you can't actually see a wave coming
Right.
at you. It is all across the horizon. It's so big that you cannot tell.
It just looks like the ocean because
So
it's
you
flat,
just get on sea level and you bend over like this and wait, like Alex said.
like a
you
diver.
run. If you see water receding,
You
you
run
run.
the other
The
way.
reason why you can't see it because it's all flat.
Yeah.
There's no curvature.
Yeah, but you can't see on the other side of the wave because it curves down.
That's why you swing through it.
So there are telltale signs too. If you don't have that coastal, if you're not close to the coast, anything that drains to the coast will actually start to drain that way towards the coast faster, or if the coast drains towards the mountains, or not towards the mountains, but to a lower point.
It drains of the mountain.
Gravity just fucked off.
So,
Physics denied.
So I was reading a story where one guy said that a stream that normally flows one way started to flow the opposite way and turned into rapids, and was also foamy and brown and dirty, like black water. And so that's when he knew something was wrong. And so they started to plan an evacuation and this was an Asian country. But there are telltale signs, but as tourists didn't really catch that.
They don't know.
And it fucking, like, that's why it decimated. Well, there's a lot of fishing towns
There's a lot
over
of
there
poor
too.
people.
Yeah. So, and there's a lack of getting information quickly in those countries, like a warning system.
Yeah.
Tsunami warning system.
Because they don't have the scientist stuff set up.
Well, there's no TVs, there's no radios, like poor
There's
countries.
probably a guy on a horse blowing a whistle.
Like the
Paul
British are
Revere?
coming. What I did was I compared the wave heights, and there was one in particular that didn't kill a lot of people. It only killed 5 people, and this one happened in Alaska in 1958. And this was called the Latuya Bay in Alaska. And it was 1,720 feet in height.
Jesus.
It's taller than the Empire State Building.
Whoa, how tall?
1,720 feet. 40 million cubic yards of rock fell from a cliff and into the water. And then this humongous wave is what started out. But then as it continued to travel across the bay, it died down to this huge 100-foot high lump, and it was going 300 mile an hour, and there were 3 or 4 boats anchored up in the bay, and one guy saw it coming, and he let more of his anchor out because he didn't have time to pull his anchor up, and so his boat drifted up 100 foot, and he survived it. And then another boat did not survive. It wiped it out, killed everybody on board. So what it ended up doing was it just destroyed like millions and millions of trees. But it's the one that's recorded the highest height in existence. So it was pretty cool to see it. Like, it was a YouTube video. You see a little wave, and it was still one that killed thousands of people, and then they keep going up. And the one that took out the dinosaurs by an asteroid was a planet killer type of wave.
Oh, I thought you said a tsunami took out dinosaurs.
A lot of things took out the dinosaurs.
There's a combination of everything.
The tsunami did not help. But imagine a tsunami. Imagine a wall of water, thousands and thousands of feet high.
Gee.
It would roll over America.
Yeah.
I mean, it would roll over America. That doesn't help with the dinosaurs trying to live, but there were many things that went into that. So,
It's a mile-high thing washing them out.
dude, I can't imagine it. I really can't imagine. I wonder what happens to the ocean at their impact zone. Is it just totally void of water, and it just splashed the water across out into the
Sweet looking.
out into the atmosphere, into space, across the earth?
Well, if it was coming in that high, it probably just vaporized the water around it from the heat, right? Just evaporate it.
I'm sure that happens.
And
to a
then the
degree.
impact would push the water out, and then it would suck back in, right?
Yeah, so that's that. So I'm not going to read through all these. Like, I had a top 10 list of these tsunamis, but I wanted to read this guy's story about his death, like how it is to basically survive a tsunami.
He write it after he died?
He did not die. He almost died.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I didn't word that right. So
He wrote a story about his death.
he talks about it. So, he was a police officer in Japan, and this guy's name's Kono, and he says it's like being in a washing machine all the time.
Wait, what was his name?
Kono.
How does he know what a washing machine feels like all the time? This guy's so many red flags.
I just imagine he sees the wave coming at him. He's like, "Oh no!"
I don't trust this narrator.
So he didn't actually see a wave coming.
See it very well.
This is this is the guy that saw. So they had warnings. They actually had a great warning system. They were planning evacuation. he was checking out the window every now and then, and the stream started to just act crazy that was right out the back of this building.
Something's wrong.
And so he looked out one more time, and he could actually see like buildings turning sideways, falling down.
Oh shit!
Turning sideways, falling down, getting closer, closer, and then now water is rushing into their building, and now they're on the second floor, and water is continually rising, and they're all standing on a desk, and the building's starting to fall apart. Walls are starting to fall down, open holes in the floor are starting to open up. And his buddy, like, they get washed out through a big hole in the wall, and now he's out in the parking lot. So he said that as soon as he got out in the deep water, out of the building, he got pulled down, and he could immediately touch the asphalt. So, like, now the parking lot's the ocean. And he knew that it was the surface of the parking lot because of how hard it was, and he kicked around, and he kicked a car.
Oh.
And he hit his shin on, like, a mirror or something. So he pushed himself upwards back to the top, but he immediately got pulled back down because the water apparently is churning. As it comes past buildings, it creates rip currents.
Like little whirlpools, and
they're everywhere. The water's moving inland so fast that these whirlpools continue. Once they're created, they stay moving in whirlpools. And so there's so many objects under the water that the water rushing past them is constantly creating mini whirlpools everywhere. And so he also said that one thing that's really eerie about a tsunami is that there's a cloud in the air, and it's actually the rubble dust. Like afterwards, there's this rubble dust in the air.
Destruction.
Yeah. Well, he's in dark, black, nasty water. He said the water is super nasty because it's like
trash water.
It's trash water. And so he keeps going under, up, and he finally grabs onto something, and it ends up floating. It's like a oar or some sort of piece of wood, and he's using it to float and stay up. And he finally gets to a calm section, and then he starts to realize how it's wintertime too.
Oh.
And there's snow on the ground. It's freezing.
Oh man.
And so he saw his friend, one of his friends that he knew. He made it out too, but they were splitting apart. And so his friend was heading towards a safe area where he could climb up onto something or go up onto a bank that was higher ground. So so we're talking about Kono again. So Kono is going further and further and further inland. And so then he gets to a point where he stops going inland, and now he's going back. So that's bad because you're going to go back so far where you're going to go out into the ocean.
Get sucked back in.
Yeah, because like the wave is moving at 100, like really fast. You know, I can't say hundreds of miles per hour, but some tsunamis do move at, like one that was recent moved at 500 miles an hour across the ocean.
Oh.
So it comes at you, and then it plateaus and goes back almost at that same speed because it's filling a hole in the ocean, basically.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening now. So he starts to look for like something that he can swim to, and he sees someone calls out to him. It's a lady that he recognized, an old lady. She's on top of her house. He got to her, and he's so physically, drained of energy and strength, he can't pull himself up onto her house, and he actually can't remember what happens. He woke up in her house. So somehow he made it into her house. She helped him like change out of his clothes, warmed him up.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing.
Oh yeah.
So he talks about warm hands.
Oh yeah.
He can't remember anything, but
She jerked him off.
She told him how he was. So hypothermia is also a part of this.
Oh, she rubbed him.
You was very nice.
So hypothermia, you actually become manic if you're in a deep hypothermia stage, you'll actually become crazy, apparently. So what he was doing, she said, is he was tearing open her cupboards, tearing open anything that was going to make him like warm.
He's doing the Phil Collins challenge in her kitchen.
What's the Phil Collins challenge?
Where you close the cabinets, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. He's just doing that everywhere in her house.
So she said that he was acting
So fucking stupid.
So apparently he's just ripping through her house, tearing her house apart, and she finally gets him calmed down, gets him changed, And let's see here. I had to so I'm going to start reading a little bit. He had saved himself from drowning, but now he was dying of hypothermia. He began to display the mania associated with the condition. Miss Suzuki described him later how, even at the extremity of exhaustion, he had acted like a madman, pulling open her drawers and cupboards, throwing their contents on the floor, and scrabbling to find dry clothes. This old teacher soothed him, undressed him, laid him in her own bed, and rubbed warmth back into him.
She sucked the hypothermia out of him.
Yep.
Kono remembered nothing of this. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
conscious only
He was
of
raped.
something he
became-
called
He became Como.
the golden hand, is what he called it.
Ooh!
He became Como.
The golden
There's
hand.
something coming on.
It was Mrs. Suzuki's hand, he said, but
Suzuki.
it was also the hand of Buddha. It was
All right.
curved, soft, warm. I don't think I ever saw her physically during that time. I couldn't open my eyes, but I saw the soft,
Oh, yeah.
round Buddha with golden
That
hands.
was soft round booba.
The building itself was a gaping shell. The area all around it was littered with bodies, half submerged in muddy pools, draped over railings. Most terrifying was the complete silence. It was a world without sound, without any sound at all. I was trembling with terror. So then he goes, this is the last little thing.
White noise.
A single other survivor from the town office had washed up to the hill and been helped to safety.
Did he get jerked off too?
He was, I guess he was okay. Everyone else had died. The policemen, the firemen, the children, the old people on walking sticks
They have one.
and in wheelchairs.
That story implied they had
The
one
policeman.
fireman. Singular. One fireman.
The firemen. It does
Okay.
say the policemen, the firemen. So it said
fireman.
Abe,
sure.
and Abe was the one he saw floating away. Abe had been seen bobbing towards the hills, had reached the hills alive, but there he had lost his strength and died of exposure of cold weather during the night. Yeah,
He didn't have the warmth of booba.
he didn't get that rub down.
He probably got the Mitsubishi and died.
He got the Mitsubishi and died. He
Yeah.
should have went to Suzuki.
Yeah, because they switched to electric vehicles now.
So
Also waiting for Nissan and Honda to come out.
well, so anyways, there's the one in 2011, the one that was going 500 mile an hour. 10-meter high waves swept over the east coast of Japan, killing 18,000 people. It was from a 9.0 magnitude earthquake. It was the fourth largest earthquake ever recorded.
Is that the one that blew up the power plant? It
Yes,
started Thomas's idea.
yeah, that's the one that made the Japanese nuclear reactor meltdown.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Nice
Thomas,
little tie in there.
Nuclear winter is a real thing that could happen.
I mean, we saw it with Hiroshima,
Yeah.
didn't we?
No, we didn't have the winter.
No.
We just had a fallout. It left the shadows on the wall.
What about the one in Russia? The one that melted
Chernobyl?
down? Was that a nuclear winter?
Chernobyl, that was just a reactor meltdown, but that would be a side effect of the mushroom cloud, would be the radiation and the people dying.
I don't know. Chernobyl might be worse than
Did
a
Chernobyl
nuclear
mushroom
blast.
cloud?
Chernobyl
No.
did not mushroom cloud because it didn't actually explode.
Yeah, it was just like part of the plant blew up and then everybody got irradiated.
Yeah, they were trying to do a stress test on it, and then the lead casing of the containment center pretty much exploded because the water barriers and all that stuff just evaporated instantly. So it exploded, and then it was shooting fire into the sky for like a couple weeks.
Yeah,
Dude,
then
it was shooting that radiation into the sky too.
Yeah.
Like if you flew a helicopter over it, it would burn you.
Yeah, like you could look out at nighttime, and it's just like a giant glow.
Yeah, I did like that HBO documentary where those miners were like completely naked trying to put shit out.
Yep.
Their
They got fucked.
wangs were just hanging.
They got messed up.
They were so hot down in that mine.
And they got killed.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
Like everybody gave their life to
For
come
the-
together
for
and
the
fix
greater
that
good.
shit.
And
then-
that's still going on today.
That's the heart of communism.
Then Russia was like, we can't tell anybody.
Yeah, it never happened. And then America's like, why is there radiation over here all of a sudden?
And they're like, oh, I guess
Russia?
we'll
Try
say-
and pronounce Chernobyl.
Cherry Noble.
They don't understand the BYL part.
Sherry Nobile.
B-Y-O-L.
Bill. I don't know.
Boil.
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 Stupid.
By
Boy,
oil.
hey boy, oh boy, hey, come here.
Alrighty. So picture this. You have a coastline in Italy. A bunch of hot teen people on TikTok singing WAP.
What?
Wet ass pussy, Chris.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a bunch of Italians singing WAP.
Yeah. Certified freak. 7 days a week.
What's wrong with
I
that?
didn't know you could say WAP. My bad.
You could say WAP?
What's wrong with a bunch
It
of
just-
Southern Europeans saying WAP?
WAP just means wet ass pussy.
Yeah.
WAP?
WAP.
Oh, I thought we were saying WAP, like the slur.
That's a great.
What's the slur?
That's a World War II reference.
I don't know the WAP slur.
I was talking.
Were you talking about the song? The WAP song? Wet ass pussy song?
Wait.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Chris?
Talking about
WAP. Like
Yeah,
you
what
call
do you-
somebody a WAP.
What's
Yeah, what
that
are you
mean?
saying, Chris? Why are you saying
I'm not going to say anymore because I don't get a sense.
Well, like Fetty Wap?
No.
don't
Fettuccine.
know.
fettuccine wet ass pussy? Hey, why are you trying to make this racial, Chris?
How
I
do you
thought you were
spell
talking
it?
about people in Italy saying WAP. W-O-P.
Hey, if I can whap.
I see what it is. I
Wait,
see what it is.
That's why I said yeah.
It's something for an Italian or a Southern
it's
European.
like calling an Italian an N-word. And that's what I was like, what are we doing? My bad.
Well, Chris knows now.
So picture this:
I'm still looking.
a bunch of Southern Europeans in Italy
Whapping.
Doing the WAP.
sing WAP.
Apparently, Flow Rider really did it up with WAP. He made a song called WAP,
Oh.
and it's on the beach. So I'm now imagining this Flow Rider song being sung
It's
on
the only
in
time.
Italy.
It's the only time that you can actually
Oh.
go to Italy and say WAP in public.
Yeah, it means guapo, meaning swagger.
Pretty sure
Swagger.
it doesn't mean swagger.
Does it?
No, swagger, pimp, or ruffian.
Oh, so it's like saying
it was
with the,
derived from-
instead of hard R.
Yeah, it
Okay,
was
gotcha.
derived from without papers or working on pavement. Fuck all those definitions. Say,
I got you. I see what you're going with this.
I'm going to stop there. It's pretty much,
So-
yeah.
Okay.
So there's this volcano
Uh-huh.
called Vesuvius. Ever heard of that volcano?
I
No.
believe I
So-
have, yeah.
It's the one that fucked Pompeii.
It fucked Pompeii.
Pretty hard.
Like within 15 minutes, Pompeii was gone.
Okay.
Well, it's still there. The volcano.
I've seen the people.
Yeah, they're still there too.
I've seen the statues that volcano created.
Pompeii's still there too as a functioning city,
Stupid people.
as there is Naples and 18 other cities at the
Yeah.
base of this volcano.
That's a,
Well, we did
Okay.
make a national park at Yellowstone
Yes.
too, so that's probably not a great.
There's
thing.
not like a city.
yeah, there's
in
not
Yellowstone.
it's not a city center right next to it.
To be fair,
Okay.
we had a city at Mount St. Helens. So.
Which Mount St. Helens was a bitch compared to this volcano.
Okay, setting it up.
Yes. So Vesuvius. I'm going to go through a play-by-play of what's going to happen to everyone in this side of the country
Okay.
of Italy. We're on the Mediterranean side of Italy.
Okay.
So this volcano is located pretty much between Naples and Pompeii.
Okay.
Naples.
Okay. Is there a joke there?
No. I'm just trying to figure out how to make this funny. So this volcano, when it blows up, one side of the volcano is going to get the pyroclasmic flow,
So one of them's going to get wiped out by lava,
and one
magma,
side is going
like
to get
Chris likes to call
vaporized.
it.
The molten magma.
Molten magma.
What are they getting vaporized by?
The heat.
The heat just goes one way?
This is the way it flows out of the volcano. Depending on which way the top blows up, you have the caldera, which
Yep.
is the top of the volcano that sinks in.
Volcanoes are really
They're
confusing and they're fascinating because, like, I don't understand how they can kill so quickly.
Okay, so what's going to happen at this volcano is there's a 9-mile radius around the base of the volcano, which is called the red zone.
Okay.
Within this red zone is 600 to 800,000 people
That live there,
that live here.
and they're not really supposed to.
They're not supposed to,
It's recommended not to.
but they're like the non-mask wearers in America
What year was this?
now.
Oh,
They're
It's
the-
one of those recommendations where it's like the volcano will probably not blow up in your lifetime, but this is a red zone that you shouldn't live in.
Well, they're having earthquakes right now.
like Los
so-
Angeles.
oh, they're having earthquakes.
Yeah, I'll get that in a second.
So they're the type of people that eat spaghetti with ketchup.
They're the ones that do oregano, pepper, ketchup, spaghetti noodles, and then eat it out of a cup.
Put a little
What do
sugar-
you call
put a little
people that
sugar
live
on
in
top of
Tornado
it.
Alley and just rebuild?
Farmers.
Easy to put a mobile trailer somewhere.
That's right.
So what's going to happen is Italy thinks that they have a contingency plan, that they'll have a 72-hour warning window to evacuate all these people.
Right.
Mother Nature will always fuck up your technology.
So Italy, the country, says they can get 800,000 people out of this area in 72 hours.
Yeah, right.
Real people said it's going to take 2 weeks to get these people out of this area.
Yeah.
And not everybody's going to leave.
You see
Because
how,
everyone's going to be on top of each other.
It's just like the beach.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see how long it takes everyone to get away from a hurricane?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Takes
and
a
they're
week.
literally like 4 hours away from home, too.
I
mean,
survived Hugo
back in,
in
like,
1975.
In 79 AD, like Pompeii had like 2,000 people. And like most of them got out because it's less people.
And they had horses. to
They had
ride,
horses
too.
and like
They were on
paddle
foot.
boats.
Running.
You have 800,000 people who are like just sitting in the street, just looking at this mountain.
And those people, too, back in the day probably couldn't leave.
Yeah.
Because they had nowhere to go.
So pretty much this volcano is going to fucking explode. And there's so much pressure in this reservoir underneath this volcano because it hasn't erupted since the 40s. That was a minor explosion that killed 4,000 people then.
Only 4,000.
Oh, wow.
Yep. The pressure is going to blow. They have a thing called a Plinian cloud that comes out of these volcanoes. So Mount St. Helens, for reference, it just exploded. It
Right.
was like a giant cloud. A Plinian cloud shoots straight in the sky and it looks like a tree. So you have
Oh.
a small plume that goes up and it kind of mushrooms out.
It goes really high
It
into
goes
the
high in the air.
atmosphere, too.
Yeah. So imagine like what Thomas was talking about earlier with the
mushroom cloud.
You pretty much have that coming out of a volcano.
Yeah.
And there's lightning strikes because there's electricity coming out with it.
Oh, shit.
Sick.
It's going to shoot a pumice into the sky. It's going to fall down at people at 100 miles an hour.
Pumice?
Pumice?
It's like lava fragments, dirt,
Oh.
stuff from the earth.
Then it falls back down.
Yeah.
Like rocks, and
Imagine a baseball flying out you from the sky at 200 miles an hour.
you would die.
Yeah.
And it's probably on fire.
I heard that some of those pieces could be pretty large.
Yes.
Like the size,
Yeah.
half the size of a vehicle.
I saw a movie where it was like a piece of an island. What?
So
2012.
The good thing about this volcano is you have magma that actually comes out of the volcano. So you actually see some action.
Oh, okay.
oh, that's a great thing.
Yeah. So you have this this flow of energy that will come down some parts of the mountain toward the people to the villages.
How fast does it move?
Depending on the pressure from the reservoir underneath it, it can range from 62 miles an hour to 430 miles an hour.
Flowing?
That's how fast this pyroclasmic flow is going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fast.
Now, the Pompeii one had 6 of these flows. It's blasts
Just pew, pew, pew.
Six
Six
separate blasts?
that came out of the volcano.
Okay.
It's shooting like in a certain direction.
Just like if you imagine an avalanche, you see it's coming down some
Oh.
mountain.
So it's like multiple
It's that, but it's-
explosions, but in
How's
intervals.
it coming out so fast?
It's coming out and coming down the mountain.
the
So
Earth,
volcano.
man. The Earth.
Because it
It's all the pressure.
it has different chambers that
Yes.
build up different pockets of pressure and air.
I figured it'd be like shooting into the sky at 400 miles an hour.
Well, that's
depends,
if the
depends on how it blows up, right?
Yeah, that's. I guess I understand that if the blast hole is pointing that way, but then you might have a random side exit hole.
Yeah, you also have
Yeah.
side.
Oh, the side
There's-
holes.
Yeah,
The dikes that blow out and come out.
Yeah,
because
damn
isn't
dikes.
isn't the volcanoes like they either the top of the volcano or mountain caves in and then it blows up, or
Yeah.
it just blows up in all random directions out the side, bottom,
Yeah.
causes earthquakes, which opens up what's the fucking word?
That's kind of like a path of least resistance.
crevices.
Is what it'll find. Yeah.
It opens up a thing called fumaroles.
Yes. So like it makes holes in the ground that's like the tectonic plates just totally shattering.
Yeah.
So it's just like somebody cracks the earth open and then it spreads like 30 feet instantly.
Jeez.
So we're also not talking about the people that are in the water.
oh, do they boil?
Oh no.
Yes. They're going to boil alive because
The
there's,
water
there's water. There's magma coming from underneath the water.
it superheats.
Superheats the water. They're dead. If you're flying airplanes in the area, because this is a high travel area, all the airplanes are crashing.
Rocks.
Rocks.
The sonic boom that comes
boom.
from it's going to just like
It's going to deafen.
flick the airplanes out of the sky.
Yeah.
Just like
There was lava coming up through the water.
Yeah, you never seen a water underwater part of a volcano erupt in the lava?
That was happening as well. At this one.
yeah, because they have fissures and it's kind of like veins going to the volcano.
This is a
Yeah.
worst case scenario, but this is what's going to happen.
Oh,
eventually.
They're basing it on the past 3 eruptions it had, plus there's more people and more magma built up. This is
Yeah.
more powerful than it was at Pompeii.
Yeah, with the ocean, like, you'll see all the fish and stuff come to the surface, and then you're like, oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Kono.
So
Is that what happens? The fish come up to the surface?
Because they die, because they're closer to the...
Oh, yeah.
Closer
They're
to
trying
the heat. But they're dead. They just belly up to the surface.
Yeah. So you pretty much have this cloud of hot gas and lava billowing down the mountain. So it's going to wipe about 9 miles in the red zone area.
Jeez.
They said within 50... So anybody that's in this circle, you're probably dead in 15 minutes.
Wow.
Best case scenario. Because what's going to happen is one side... They're comparing this to what actually happened in 79 AD. One side of the volcano got the dust, the ash, and the poison gas, all that kind of jazz. The other side of the volcano got the extreme heat side.
Which side would you want to be on? If you had to pick.
Probably
lava?
the lava side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather be crushed by burning lava.
You might be able to drive from a lava.
Because this one, these people were just seeing it blow up, and then a heat wave came through at 900 degrees and just vaporized
So
them.
the heat wave, you're like an instant kiln.
Yes.
You're just done.
It boils all the water out of your body.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm going to butcher this name of the city, but Herculaneum.
Okay.
That sounds about like something.
So that's that and Pompeii were the two major cities that got destroyed back then.
I didn't know it was 2 cities. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, Pompeii got the ash and the heat, the ash and the clouds and the.
That's why we
humus.
see the bodies.
Yes. So what happened on that one was Pompeii at that time got 6 feet of ash. That's all it took to destroy that city.
How long did it take for 6 feet of ash to fall and actually accumulate 6 feet, you think?
The eruption actually started at 1 o'clock. I have the information right here. This is one thing I found interesting. With less than 19 hours, the city was destroyed, wiped off the planet.
Oh, so not even a day.
Not even a day.
Less than a day.
And it actually happened August 24th, 79 AD.
That's my birthday.
So yeah, it took less than 1 day to wipe off Pompeii and Herculaneum off the planet.
Wow.
Whoa.
What about
And the only thing we have of evidence is this guy called Pliny the Tiny, or whatever his name was. He wrote a poem.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be the jerk off guy.
The jerk-off guy? No.
The jerk off statue.
the Buddha?
No, the Pompeii statue where they found like a guy that was encased in the magma and lava, but he was just black, and he had his hand on his dick.
So with the structures that are there now, the houses, they can actually withstand. If you're outside the red zone, you can withstand the volcano explosion, the heat, maybe the sound from the
Like
sound
blowing
barrier.
your eardrums out.
Yeah. What's going to happen though this time? Like I said, Pompeii had 6 feet of ash. You're going to have 66 feet of ash,
Wow. 66 feet of ash?
and all the roofs of the houses are going to collapse in.
I don't know how to comprehend that.
Yeah, that's how much.
That's how much is
built
coming
up.
out of that thing.
Yeah, because like I said, 79 AD was the last big explosion. 1631 had a regular volcano explosion.
What is the ash?
It's all the sediment and stuff from the volcano.
Yeah, it's like dirt, sand,
Just so hot
debris.
it burnt it.
Yeah, just leftover stuff.
Now the Italian government's actually trying to. They have a plan to get people out of the red zone. They're willing,
Stop living there.
Yeah, they're actually trying to. Since 2004, they would pay people $46,000 to move
Move where?
anywhere but that area. Just get the fuck out of the red zone.
So you sell your house and you get $46K?
And they're setting up national parks around it. That way, kind of like Yellowstone, where you don't have any kind of
To
groups
keep-
of large
Yeah,
people.
where you can visit there and die when it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you're not going to live there and
That's happened before. I don't know what volcano just erupted, but they were on the boat and saw the blast rate, saw the blast, the shock wave come at them on the boat.
So that was very interesting seeing that sound, the sound barrier come out of it. So volcanoes are ranked on a strength scale, kind of like hurricanes.
Okay.
It's called the VEI, Volcanic Eruptive Index, whatever. And it goes from 0 to 8. I don't know why it stops at 8.
That
what it
is
is.
weird. That
Might
is
as
weird. 0 to 10 would
But
be better.
each step is 10 times more powerful than the previous step.
I guess if you get past 8, then you just go. You're just
Yeah,
not going
'cause,
to live there.
Dead.
You have
you're not going to live to tell it anyway.
They started adding plus and minuses to these numbers to dictate like a low 4 or a high 4.
Oh yeah,
'Cause-
8+ or something.
Yeah, because like Mount St. Helens is a low 5.
Okay.
It had a huge explosion, but it was no magma. It was just blew up.
Just force.
Yeah.
Just a sound.
So
Is that the one that Tommy Lee Jones stopped?
No, that was the one in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
yeah, the volcano in Los Angeles.
you say Tommy Lee Jones, I just think about the drummer.
He used his dick to stop the explosion.
He plugged it.
He played with his cock. So a VEI of 5 is 10 times more explosive than a VEI of 4.
Oh.
And like a VEI of 8 is 1 million times more explosive
Whoa.
than a VEI of 2.
So has anything been an 8?
Yes. Yellowstone, when it blows up, is a high 8.
A high 8?
And that's a global disaster.
How do they measure that to like a nuclear bomb?
So what they're actually testing this as is they know throughout the history of the world, I'll say United States because that's our world, right?
Yep.
The history of the world.
That's the one that matters.
It's the world. Yeah.
There's been 50 VEI of 8s. Because they can figure out where displacement of the Earth, like pumice, there's 1,000 cubic kilometer of material that's been moved on the planet.
Okay.
And it only happens from a volcano explosion.
Okay.
Not a meteor?
Could be a meteor, but it came from, I don't know.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
Thanks. But they've identified 3 VEIs of 8s.
Wow. But they've never documented it on camera.
No.
If that happened, wouldn't everybody die?
Oh, I thought you're saying that it's happened 3 times.
Like a million years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
they see it
Not-
in like carbon dating.
Yeah.
Oh.
And not like during human.
Okay, so like here's the 1631 explosion or eruption of Vesuvius. It blew 1,200 kilometers of material into the sky, and it reached all the way to Istanbul. So you think Italy to Turkey,
That's pretty far.
and it killed 4,000 people.
That's not that far, though. It's like,
The debris went pretty far.
yeah, but I mean, it's like from Yellowstone to here, right?
Roughly.
Roughly.
That's pretty far, though.
That's a low, but even at that scale, if say this explosion happened at Yellowstone and it reached here, that's only a low 4.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put it in perspective of
Yeah,
what's,
okay.
Yeah. So we wouldn't get hurt from it, but we'd be like, well, is it raining rocks?
So an 8 is like Yellowstone exploding and people in Cuba dying by rocks.
No, that would be people in like middle, like Germany dying from rocks.
So-
Is a level 8 considered a super volcano?
yes.
That's the term for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 1.2 million years ago, there was a VEI 7 in New Mexico. This is called the Valles Caldera. Probably mispronouncing that. But
Sounds right.
It's okay.
this caldera is 13.7 miles across.
Okay.
It's like a whole city
It's
just
like the size of land is just sunk down.
Oh. Oh. So it just went into a giant crater.
Yeah.
Just
It's a not active volcano, but it was one.
oh.
So in Indonesia, I know you mentioned Sumatra, there's a lake called Lake Toba. And this is the one they can actually prove as the last biggest one. There's hypothetical research showing there's actually a real massive volcano that exploded way back. But this is the one that's like the biggest one. This is the VI of 8, and it happened 76,000 years ago. This is the one that actually dropped the temperature of the Earth and caused a 1,000-year ice age.
Because it blocked out the sun rays.
It dropped it shot so much shit to the sky, 3,000 cubic kilometers of material into the sky. It blocked out the sun for a while. It dropped the world temperature by 5 degrees. And it dropped the population from a several million to less than 10,000.
That's cool. Well, not cool like that's cool.
Yeah.
But like,
So if you
cool,
look
man.
up Lake Toba or Toba, whatever it's called, the
Toba.
entire lake is actually the top of the volcano.
Oh.
that's awesome.
So what volcano was it that Pierce Brosnan had his grandma get killed by acid lake?
That was Mount not quite St. Helen.
What about Fukushima? Isn't that a big volcano in Japan? The famous one that's like snow-capped?
Talking about Mount Fuji?
Mount Fuji?
Probably. I don't know. I didn't research that one.
I just didn't know if it was...
I just researched the ones I have here.
I didn't know if you were a volcano expert now.
Well, I mean, did you look it up?
No, I did not. I was trying to find a video of like what they think a super volcano eruption looks like. I didn't know if someone
There's a
had
couple
made
of videos on hypothetical, like if Yellowstone exploded, that over here we breathe in glass.
Like how after a few weeks of that shit, just like
Less than a
settling
week.
back down,
You can't make me wear my mask.
like silica, like you'd be
Yeah,
great.
we're in the microscopic glass,
Yeah.
and then we would just
It blows.
lacerate our lungs.
It blows up, and they have another world record-breaking boat parade.
Yeah, a lot of boats.
I mean, it's
the
just a
sky.
volcano. How can they tell us we can't go out and eat?
Is there someone actually keeping track of boat parades? Seriously,
They are now. They are now.
that's the first one.
You know, people would be pissed off because they couldn't go outside and go like eat at
The
fucking
sky's
Ruby
neon
Tuesday.
green.
Everyone stay in your bunker.
You don't tell me what to do in America. I mean, how am I supposed to go to Ruby Tuesday? Ruby Tuesdays isn't even open anymore. That's
Ruby
fucked
Tuesdays
up.
suck.
Fucked up, man. I cannot believe they closed down Ruby Tuesdays.
I can believe it. They sucked ass. I'm surprised Golden Corral is still open.
But there's also there's a quick side note. That's funny. Not only is Vesuvius active near Naples and Pompeii, there's also an underground supervolcano called the Phlegraean Fields.
The Flagrant Fields.
Is it like
Phlegraean,
is it like a flat ground?
Where's it at?
the Bay of Naples.
Oh, so this is like a sister volcano.
Yes.
Oh, that's
This is the one that wiped when it erupted last time. It wiped out the Neanderthals.
I thought we killed them.
This did.
So we have evidence that this has erupted before.
Yeah.
Do they have like an eruption site where it happened?
I mean, it's just
I wonder.
flat gray area,
it's just carbon dating and the
and most of it's underwater.
geography of the area.
So is Hawaii known as maybe a typical like a
Hawaii has like the most active volcanoes. They have the most eruptions, but there hasn't been like
a big one?
it's all been like subtle.
It kind of
Yeah.
like always releases its
Yeah.
pressure.
It's
it
like a
seems.
stable thing.
It's like
Yes.
it's like a
Doesn't
minus
build
one or
up
something.
pressure.
Yeah, it lets the pressure out.
Yeah.
It's like an open volcano instead of
Yeah.
just like boom. It's just
It's like the cool kind you see when you think of volcanoes.
It's like the volcano you want to
Yeah.
be at because it's not really
Yeah,
on
you're
the
like,
straight
oh,
island.
this is neat.
it's moving like 5 miles an hour or
I
something.
can cook a pig on this.
Yeah,
I just don't understand the world. I don't understand
weird.
Earth. Like there's
Jump
a molten
jump a Buick
core.
over it.
Is that created by gravity?
it's just all the plate tectonics just pushing all the magma and the pressure.
It creates that much heat.
Yeah.
Well, the lava is already there. It's just when the plates shift, it
But
makes
why is the lava there?
You ever got an Indian burn?
the lava is naturally because the Earth's core is magma, lava, and stuff, right?
Yeah, but why is it naturally
Because
molten?
Okay, well, it seeps up because the core of the Earth is molten. It's heat, it's pressure, it's condensed, gravity, and
core,
everything.
Thomas?
The core.
And then the core assume that it's round.
You mean like a
the three
plane,
of us are on
A
the
plane.
a plane of magma.
A plane. Well, okay. So it comes up through cracks and stuff through the plates.
Also, Earth is like a lasagna.
It's like a lasagna.
Well,
you
see,
have the layers.
I know. I just don't. I don't understand how the fucking molten core is a molten core.
Okay, it's like
It's solid.
Imagine
Momentum or something like that, right?
It's
like
like-
the Earth spinning.
you have a water balloon, but the water is lava. You put a piece of tissue over top of it. Then you slowly start to squeeze the water balloon. Mm-hmm. Once the pressure gets enough, you squeezing the water balloon is the plate tectonics coming together. The water inside is the lava. You squeeze it.
So, is there lava inside the moon? Is there lava inside of most
No,
bodies?
the moon is a dead rock.
They've never drilled it. They need to drill that thing.
But there's
You see red shit shooting out of the moon.
They need to get a space team up there that worked on an oil rig and drill that motherfucker.
And they're better.
Bruce.
It's easier to train oil riggers to be astronauts than it is to train
Astronauts
astronauts to be oil riggers.
We just don't know how this machine operates, but we can fly this giant aeronautical spaceship into the middle of an asteroid.
No kidding.
It's like, well, he's not pulling the turbines back at 3 torque.
Let's run this. Give them a minigun too while they're at it.
Oh yeah, Steve Buscemi with the Gatling
Calm
gun.
down there, fucking Buscemi.
He's like, oh, I don't know why this way.
I just
I'm shooting aliens, man.
Who brings a gun to space?
There's Ghost on the moon.
Apparently, always have been.
I'm just it's just confusing to me
The moon's
how
made of
magma
cake.
was made magma.
Yeah,
But like you're saying, I get it.
Magma.
Friction builds heat, but
It's
that
just
much
the
heat,
pressure.
yeah.
the
It's
pressure,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. It's just kind of confusing for me.
But as a closing remark on this Vesuvius thing, April 26th of 2020, a swarm of earthquakes, as many as 34, have hit the Flagrant Fields and the Vesuvius
It's
volcano.
a precursor. It's coming.
It's gonna happen Christmas morning, 2020.
But they're not like they're like they're like 3s on Richter scale. They're like minor earthquakes.
Now,
Yeah, but they're taking it. They're like
3.3. We had
Yeah.
a bigger one than that.
right.
we will rebuild.
Speaking of Christmas, that big Indonesia, fucking, oh God, what am I talking about here? Tidal wave tsunami
Salami?
happened the day after Christmas.
Sulami.
Boxing Day. It's a Canadian holiday,
During the
So-
during the nuclear winter, they canceled Christmas because 80% of the people died.
right?
It's fair. Santa
your
Claus can't
story?
make it through the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You can't keep making stuff up, Thomas. So you're saying that this is about to in the next? I mean, we're talking maybe 100, 500,
Yeah.
thousands,
Just like Yellowstone, it's like it could be a million years before it explodes.
or
Could be
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
It's just Yellowstone and this one, because this is the it's kind of like Europe's Yellowstone. It's their biggest, most active continental volcano,
Yeah.
and it's just like I start adding up the days and how long it's been since it's last erupted, and the massive eruptions it normally has.
It's
in
bound to
history.
happen.
It's getting to that point where it's overdue for one.
So a supervolcano, it probably pumps out lava just straight up into the atmosphere like a huge explosion. Just
Yeah.
keeps on funneling funneling.
Yeah, they just
out.
probably just keep blasting out everything.
Man,
I figured it just exploded and just
One
blew out
giant
everything.
explosion.
just pop.
Can you
I
imagine
mean,
like
it
a 30
could pop like just
Could
all
do nothing.
outward,
Oh yeah, if it did like a 30-mile like just explosion straight up.
Just a
just
giant,
straight up. Yeah,
Blew it
giant
out.
firewall.
Or it could
comes
go
out of the
out.
ground.
yeah.
Like the whole part just sinks.
Or
Yeah.
It tips the plate up at an angle. So
It's
like
like-
we're looking out into the horizon, we can see like Ohio in the sky.
You can start seeing the turtle underneath.
Was this Doctor Strange?
No, like the whole plate just tilts up.
You like the whole city just
Oh, like
lifts.
it sinks like the Titanic.
Yeah.
It turns,
Ohio,
turns
though.
Cleveland to a mountain.
Oh, I mean that could happen. That
It
could
makes
very well happen.
It makes a less spectacular canyon.
Well,
Canyon.
it's kind of crazy because we just experienced an earthquake here in North Carolina. We're right there at a plate tectonic, like a plate shift.
It was devastating.
Wait,
But-
Mount Mitchell to explode.
It could, you never know. Mother Earth might roar her head back and
a mountain.
give us a 9.0 earthquake.
That'd be fucking bad.
Just go to Gravity Hill and just pour a cup of water and watch it go up the mountain.
Oh god.
So, anyways,
Anyway,
Yep.
geostorm.
Chris has geostorms.
Yep. All right. So we were talking about stuff that stuff that could happen, and then what stuff
Okay.
that happens. I figured we should look to the skies,
The skis.
the skis.
Okay.
All right.
Schmuckies.
Have you guys ever heard of a coronal mass ejection?
That's
Yeah.
the Russian vaccine, right?
I had
No.
a mass ejection the other night. You know what I'm saying?
Upwards and downwards.
All right. So this is when the sun is like, all right, I'm gonna throw up on you.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. So the sun causes like a solar flare,
Yeah.
Right.
and it just sends it into Earth, sends it out,
Into space.
yeah, towards us.
Or in the direction.
Any direction really, but
Okay.
ours is what matters.
Yes.
And it takes like a day, and it gets here. And
Is it like a fucking lasso?
Yeah, it looks like waves. And you know how we have an electromagnetic field?
Right.
Yeah.
And it just comes in and weaves in between it.
Okay.
And it screws with our electronics.
So it's like a giant EMP goes off, right?
Kind of. And the last one was in 1859.
1859?
Yeah.
How do they even happen? I want to know how these are formed.
What's formed?
The solar flare.
It's the sun. You know how there's waves? The sun's waves kind of like sword fight with each other in the layman's terms, and
like
it
a
shoots
magnetic
out.
field fights.
No, it's just it
Oh,
shoots it out. You know how the sun's a giant reactor?
Yeah.
It just spews it out at us.
Yeah. It's just like a burst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like a.
Something's bad's got to happen in there to burst it out.
It's just
the
it's
sun.
a constant chemical
So-
reaction.
Kind of
so
like a volcano
Like
reaction or something.
I don't
like
know.
fission.
I can't
Yeah.
explain
Fission.
the sun.
It's just volatile. The only thing holding the sun together is its own gravity.
I got you.
If it didn't have the gravity, it just go.
Yeah, they say that the center, like the core of it's the only solid piece. The rest of it's like gases and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the only thing holding it.
Yeah.
So that happened. It comes to Earth in 1859. Some dude's got a telescope looking up at it.
Really?
Yeah,
Did he go blind?
his name was like John Carrington or something.
Okay.
And so he sees it happen. He's watching it in the sky. He sees an explosion off the sun. 5 minutes later, he sees the aurora borealis in the sky.
They couldn't do Morse code for a week.
Yeah, you could see the auroras all the way down to the Caribbean.
Jesus.
Oh wow.
And so, yeah, 1859, that was the Victorian era. So all they had was telegraph lines. The telegraph lines caught everything on fire in the offices.
Wow.
Oh, because it like overcharged everything.
Yeah, and the ones that were turned off got turned on just by the power in the...
Oh, it's like Facebook listening to you.
Yeah.
It was like magic.
So as the sun gave us a message, it was like beep 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 beep. Beep, you're
Yeah,
a fox.
it
Beep,
just
beep,
caught
beep, beep.
everything on fire.
What would happen
And-
now if we experienced one?
If it happened today, it would knock out GPS, the internet.
A lot.
Electronics?
It would fry a lot
Yeah.
of shit.
Everything in the sky will
That-
come down, right?
Yeah, our satellites would just fall to Earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ISS people would die.
Yeah.
They would die?
Well, I mean, I guess they could take an emergency pod back to Earth if it's not EMP'd.
Just free fall back, right?
No, the people in the ISS, they would end up like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for he comes back, like in your scenario, his like arms falling off. Oh, Mr. Fantastic, and his arms decaying.
He goes to stretch and it's just like flops onto the ground.
The Invisible Woman is just his like imagination because his wife died on the way back.
It could be like X-Men where she totally absorbs the solar flare.
The Thing's mutated guy just like kill me now, and the Human Torch is just
Kill
this
me.
guy.
It's just red.
burn victim.
It's just red and hairless.
That's our Fantastic Four.
I would
Dr.
imagine.
Doom.
I would imagine there were a lot of people looking through telescopes in those times since there wasn't TVs around. That
Yeah, they
was
could
like their
see a lot of
version of
stuff.
TV.
You know, 100 years prior, that was illegal.
Looking through a telescope?
Yeah.
Was it?
Why was it illegal?
I was afraid you was looking up the goddess's skirts.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh. Wait, is that real?
Oh, I just
No,
looked that up.
it's not real.
I didn't know. I mean, they make weird shit.
Look, Galileo went on trial in like the 1600s and shit.
Well, yeah, those people that saw it in the 1800s, they're like seeing stuff turn on. This is the celestial power.
Mm-hmm.
They're freaking out.
There's a demon in my fucking office right now.
He's dancing, catching stuff.
They're
on fire.
they just took Claire, who's the secretary, outside to hang her ass because they just they classified her as a
And you
witch.
think this storm lasted 2 days on Earth?
That
So
would freak some people out.
It was bright enough to read at night.
Whoa.
That's wicked.
And the last one happened in 2012.
Really?
Did it?
Like that
Flare?
same size. It just, the sun shot it in a different direction.
Oh, okay.
So it happens every like 200
Probably about-
years.
Twice a millennia. They
So it
say
farts.
that it'll hit us.
Can they see what happens on the other side of the sun?
Boring.
If they know what happens over there?
Yeah, that's a pretty smart question.
Thanks.
They
It's like the dark side of
Is
the
there
moon.
a dark side of the sun? I mean,
just
we're
not
always
dark.
I don't think
rotating.
it's ever dark on that side of the sun.
It might. You never know.
How do you know?
Have you ever seen?
I just wonder if
Well, the
something
sun
happens
does
over
slowly
there.
rotate.
They
We
might
rotate
not.
with it.
Have we ever
We've
put
talked about this.
Have
and
we
it's
ever
just-
put a camera on the other side of the sun while we're rotating around it?
Didn't we shoot the Hubble past it though?
No, we shot the Hubble past
Through it.
like Saturn, and then it just like
Oh.
left our plane.
And then every so often we get a picture from it.
I don't think we get anything from it. We just know it's doing things.
Oh, I thought we did talk to the Hubble.
Oh, no, wait, I'm thinking of the
Voyager?
Voyager, sorry. The
Yeah,
Hubble
well.
still exists.
So
My bad, Dom.
I do wonder if
I'm fake news in you.
At least we know what happens if a nuclear bomb does go off.
Yep, we
Or
know
a-
we're all dead.
We die. If a volcano goes off, we die.
Right,
If you
yeah.
get hit by a tsunami, you drown and get jerked off.
Well, that's the thing about tsunamis. They say you're either dead or you're alive. There's really barely any injuries with tsunamis. There's just so
Yeah.
many people that just die from them.
Really, I guess in mine you just get sunburn.
Can it reach? Can those things lasso out so far that they can kind of cook the earth?
You can get burned by it because it kind of it.
I heard,
If we didn't have an ozone, it would burn us.
I heard that
yeah.
I heard that there could be a big one that could fucking just take us out.
Yeah.
Well, I think the biggest problem would be the society structure would fall.
Are you thinking like a straight solar flare licking us, like fire licking us through space?
Or something like a gamma burst.
I just envisioned this. What I've seen is like literally a lasso that it's like a loop.
Okay, coming off the sun.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
the sun just
the
whips
lasso
us.
breaks, and it just. Whoosh.
Yes.
It's like Wonder Woman's the Earth, and it's like, oh, gotta tell the truth now. God, my jokes are
truth
just
of
getting
lasso.
worse.
The truth of lasso. With that said, just be careful. Don't go to any Indian or Asian countries. Be careful on those beaches. If you see the water receding, then run as fast as you can for the highest elevation you can find. What do you got, Alex?
I would suggest the citizens of America to go out to your Walmarts, Targets, other fine shopping outlets, and buy every DVD of Kindergarten Cop, because
Oh yeah.
a comedy has become a social commentary.
Okay.
Yep. It's
Well,
gonna go away.
It's getting canceled.
Yep.
Cancel. Well, the cancel culture is here. Cancel culture is here, and it's in full swing. Everybody's fucking offended by something. So
Yeah. People can't take a fucking joke.
yeah, and I'm not laughing.
I'm not.
Oh, we know.
There's a NLZ.
So far, so good, guys.
Thomas,
Appreciate the help.
what do you got?
I'm just gonna die from not laughing.
It's possible because you're holding your breath. That's
Eh.
all you're doing.
There you go. Better. Chris?
Don't trust mailboxes.
So,
Like-
You're thinking there's like a spy device?
I'm thinking there was a little man in there.
How dare you give a box of gender?
Fair enough.
They might be planting those out where the protesters are where the protests are happening. They might be collecting information. Dude, they might be making bombs.
They're taking away the mailboxes like Nazi Germany took away the Jews. We don't know where they're sending them.
The Anne Frank cellar.
They might be taking them to a warehouse.
I think
I
we
have
knew
a
where they
mailbox.
sent them.
I have a mailbox in my attic right now. I'm
thought-
hiding it from the man.
I thought it was funny that we had doing a job site the other day for a bunch of German people, and he came out and was like, "Let's put a gold star on that work." I laughed at that one.
Wait, the Jewish guy? The German?
came and told us that that's gold star work.
Eee.
Hey, you got to make light of your own plight, right? Well, that's not their plight.
I don't think it's a German
I don't think that's a good plight. That'd be like me making slavery jokes.
Well,
Look good in cotton.
yeah, that's all they had.
You got to have that 3-ply mask.
Well,
How you feel about it, Tyler?
Yeah.
what do you mean?
What's your closing thoughts? Did you already give?
Yep, I said no. Stay away from the beaches. If you see them receding,
okay.
run as fast as you can. Get to a high elevation.
Oh, okay, my bad.
That's all good. Yeah.
I
So
was too busy trying not to laugh.
Thank you.
like I normally say, tell your mom and dad, tell your sister to come on by. So send your sisters our way. But leave us a like, a review. We love them. Send us pictures. Send us questions. I want questions. I want to answer your question. I don't care what it is. It could be about my mom grounded me. What should I do? I saw my dad masturbating. is that bad? I saw my mom and dad having sex,
Maybe.
and then my mom was fucking my dad in the ass, or my wife wants me to take it in the ass from her. Like, I want all these questions.
Is this stuff that happened to you?
No, I want to help people out. I'm not an expert, but I just want to give people advice.
I figured we'd take like questions like how to fill your taxes out and stuff. Not getting paid.
Those are boring fucking square questions.
How do you mince garlic?
I want some exciting questions. So send them in, and we'll try our best to answer them, but we're definitely not experts, so don't take our word as professional help.
But don't
I
take
figured
our
we-
word for it.
Use degree or speech dick. That's kind of questions I'm looking for.
We all want good questions. So pictures, questions, we're still working on our mural out of the butthole pictures. So
Everything.
send us in those things, and please tell us what you think of our podcast.
Please.
So with that said, Thomas, how can they reach us?
With a no laugh zone. If you enjoy our show, make sure to search TACT Lab on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and also YouTube. You can support us at patreon.com/TACTLab. That's where you go if you want to throw us a buck, if you think we're awesome. Make sure you leave some feedback, a comment, or a good review on social media, the podcast places, wherever you're listening. You can also reach us at tactlabpod@gmail.com. That's TACTLABPOD@gmail.com. Send us a question, a comment, send us your hate mail, whatever. Thanks.